Hello, Mendota High School parents and students. This is Mrs. Augenbaugh, and I am here to present to you the Mendota High School Planning Framework for reopening school for the fall of 2020. Please take some time to read the complete plan that is sent to your emails, and please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns. We would like to remind everyone that during these difficult times, there is no perfect plan. So we feel like we should have some statements of understanding because we are all just doing the best we can. The MHS CARES Committee was comprised of all stakeholders involved with the school. We used family surveys, teacher input, maintenance staff, transportation staff, cafeteria, the school nurse, the school resource officer, board members, and administrators. We felt it was important to garner this feedback from all parties. Throughout this fall semester and the entire school year, communication will be increased. We also want you to know that any decisions that are made have been made and will continue to be made with consultation from the Illinois State Board of Education, the Illinois Department of Public Health, the Illinois High School Association for any extracurricular events, and medical science professionals. MHS will not be the same, and we will operate with many safety modifications. When we surveyed families, we received 213 parent surveys, and for us this would be about 40% of our student body. The results were very close. When we asked parents if they preferred a hybrid or blended approach, there were about 41% who responded this method. When we asked about direct in-person instruction, 40% preferred this mode of instruction, and there was only about 19% who chose remote or complete e-learning options. The MHS CARES Committee discussed the strengths and weaknesses of the various plans, and they decided that the best interest of students would be to recommend in-person direct instruction with many modifications. We will go into detail about these modifications, but a brief overview of them is that face masks are required at all times at Mendota High School. We will use symptom screeners such as temperature checks and parent certification prior to entering onto the bus and entering school. And all of these forms are available in the plan that is emailed to you. We will use ISB and IDPH guidance for all classes. Major adjustments have already been made to certain classes such as behind the wheel instruction, music, physical education, career and technical education courses such as nutrition and culinary arts and metals. There will be a shortened school day. School will now dismiss at 2:35. There will be a new bell schedule with an 8 block. And of course, we have to maintain the ability to change quickly as needed. Part of our decision making was the beautiful facility that we have at Mendota High School. The Mendota High School building was created to house about 750 students. Our current enrollment is only 518 students. So that means that we are going to start the school year using about 70% of our facility. The good news is that we have an extra 30% of building space that we can use to spread students apart and to maximize social distancing. We are also going to provide all students and staff with face masks. MHS will provide 2 MHS logo face masks per student and staff. Students will also receive a 3rd face mask that is provided free by the state of Illinois. It is also possible that students may choose to wear a school-appropriate face mask of their choosing. There are significant changes to instruction that we want you to be aware of for this school year. It is possible that students and staff will need to adjust during the 2021 school year between in-person instruction, hybrid blended, and remote learning. This will all depend upon the health factors that we encountered with the coronavirus. Parents who have concerns about their student returning to in-person direct instruction should please contact me, at doggenbaugh@mendotahs.org or 815-539-7446 to discuss your concerns. Requests made for full-time remote learning instruction will be made for the entire fall semester by you if you feel that it is necessary. Students and parents who choose to go complete online instruction during the fall semester will use the Edmentum curriculum. Students who are medically fragile and unable to attend in person will also utilize Edmentum software. Students will be assessed for skill levels and vertical grade level articulation following the spring 2020 school closure. We understand that going to that complete remote environment in March, it definitely had limitations, and we understand that there are learning lapses that we are going to have to address. Any incomplete grades from the spring 2020 will be addressed the first 3 weeks of school during the period 8 intervention time. This year, we feel that it's very important that everyone understands that all classroom activities will be counted as part of the student's overall grade at the end of the semester. This is different from how you ended in the spring. During the spring of 2020, ISB mandated that a student's grade could not be lowered during the time of remote learning. We encourage students and families to please review the district's traditional grading procedures that will be followed this school year. We are concerned that there might be a false sense of achievement that some students experienced in the spring of 2020 because even with a lack of new instruction and new material and a lack of work completion, this was not fully reflected in the student's grade. So we ask that parents please consider this when choosing direct in-person instruction or remote learning, because students will be expected to complete all coursework if you choose to stay home remotely. We have several safety modifications that we're going to make to the school. Classroom space will be expanded to improve social distancing, so there will be removal of extra furniture in all classrooms. Regular-sized classes over 25 students will be moved to larger spaces, such as the media center, or we will bring in additional staff to assist to split a class and co-teach it in 2 spaces. Student services were a part of the family survey that we sent out to everyone. We asked parents to complete an intake form with the reopening survey. It was important to us that we could gauge the social and emotional needs that you are seeing in your family. Upon return, we will know any changes that have taken place, such as loss, illness, financial need, to hopefully address your concerns and your needs. Please do not hesitate to contact the Mendota High School Student Services Office to request additional support or information. We are here for you. There will be changes to transportation as well. Mendota High School has the capacity to provide transportation within health and safety restrictions established by the Illinois Department of Public Health. All individuals on a bus must wear face coverings and masks. The buses will be limited to 50 individuals at one time. Students and drivers must undergo symptoms and temperature checks or self-certification before boarding the bus. Parents will receive a form that can be completed so that they can self-certify that their student is healthy enough to ride the bus before school. Seating charts will be utilized on the bus, and we thank all of our parents for encouraging students to follow these simple requests to sit in the assigned seat. Buses will be disinfected daily using EPA criteria. We know that cafeteria and food service is important to everyone, so we wanted to make sure that we discuss how this is going to operate. The Restore Illinois Phase 4 requires that no more than 50 individuals are in one space at a time. Our meals will be provided to students in 4 locations daily during 3 lunch periods. The meals will be individually boxed by cafeteria staff and delivered to students. Disposable utensils and dishes will be used. Regular precautions will be taken regarding food allergies. Students are also encouraged to bring their own lunches during the day. We will, however, not be able to use the microwave in the cafeteria. Alternate payment and meal ordering procedures will be used to maintain social distancing. So the previous day, students and staff will be asked to submit their lunch order or breakfast order for the following day. We are not going to be exchanging cash in a lunch line, so we will take care of all of those needs at a table before school. Food service personnel will use appropriate PPE, and plexiglass shields will be installed at food tables. Individual desks will be used for meals as much as possible to maintain social distance. This slide shows you a sample of the cafeteria with desks installed. The 4 different lunch areas that students will be assigned to will be in the cafeteria. There will be 2 locations with a divider to separate the spaces, the gym with the divider dropped in there, and one in the media center. Mrs. Eaton and her staff will deliver the grab-and-go lunches to your area every day. And again, for the health and safety of everyone, we will not be collecting lunch. We will not be collecting money during the lunch period. Extra and co-curriculars are important to everyone to discuss, and at this point, we do not have solid answers from the state. Extracurricular activities must follow Illinois Department of Public Health requirements and the Illinois High School Association requirements. As information is released to us, we will share it with all of you. IDPH and ISB requirements will be utilized for co-curricular events. An example of a co-curricular event would be marching band. Social distancing, appropriate use of PPE, the limitation of individuals in one space, using outside and outdoors as much as possible to try and provide these extracurricular and co-curricular experiences will be followed. Hopefully, virtual fine arts performances may be an option, and we will do everything to provide these types of experiences to our students within recommendations. Personnel and human resources are also important in our planning. MHS will use professional development days and summer to prepare instructional methods and materials, plan students' social, emotional, and mental health needs, and for training on new health and safety protocols. All staff will be trained on sessions about health safety practices and procedures based on the guidance from the CDC. Training is not limited to topics such as the following: social distancing, face coverings, hand hygiene procedures, wellness checks, and when students should be sent to the nurse. On top of this training, we will of course also be looking at instructional professional development. Operations and maintenance has been quite an endeavor this summer and will continue. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is going to be made available to be used by staff and students. As we mentioned earlier, students will receive 3 face masks, so hopefully you have time to wash one at home while you have another one at school. Mendota High School will conduct temperature and symptom screenings and self-certification on all students, staff, guests, vendors, and guardians on school grounds. We appreciate your cooperation so that only people who have been screened are welcome into the building. Vendors and visitors this year will not be allowed to travel throughout the building, but are limited to the business office area. So if students have an appointment with a college recruiter or a military recruiter as examples, they will be asked to meet with them in the boardroom or in the business office area. And social distancing will be used at all times. MHS is going to enhance the physical distance in all of our spaces. All additional furniture is not only going to be removed from the classrooms, but it will also be removed from the hallways. Class sizes and space are limited, so we will be taking advantage of using additional staff and spaces. Staff work areas have been rearranged also, and we have gone the extra step of creating an alternate bell locker schedule to reduce traffic even more. Again, under operations and maintenance, bus and parent drop-off and pickup will be in the front of MHS. Symptom screening will occur at the main entrance. Student drivers are going to park in the back parking lot. Symptom screening will occur at the back entrance in the gym cafeteria foyer. No other entrances are permitted before school. Everyone must be screened to enter school. MHS is going to be open to students from 7:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. It is new that we are going to restrict access to the building. Please help us with this change. It is for the safety of everyone. We will also be utilizing space differently this year. Please understand if you need to have class held in the media center or choir room to improve social distancing. We also need to utilize staff differently. We may need to provide additional space for classes to spread out between 2 computer labs as an example with paraprofessional support. Additional facility precautions require purchases. An electrostatic sprayer is one that is used to disinfect rooms and buses. It takes 2 minutes to spray a room, 4 minutes to disinfect, and 10 minutes to dry, for a total of 16 minutes to disinfect. The MHS custodial staff has been very busy, also creating plexiglass barriers for tables and office. We'd like to thank the MHS custodial crew for their outstanding work in this area. It is not an easy feat to purchase all of this PPE and then also to make all these changes to our facility. Additional facility precautions are with water filling stations and water bottles. ISB and IDPH recommend drinking fountains are not used as a precaution. Water filling stations are allowed. So we are very thankful that the MHS Booster Club has donated 1 water bottle per student so that they may fill it in our filling stations and still have access to clean water throughout the day. The HVAC system and air quality and control is not one that we talk about often, but we are very fortunate that we have a chiller system at Mendota High School. In the summer of 2019, a new HVAC system and controls, which is the computer that controls them, were installed. It allows Mendota High School to change out all the air in the building every 2 hours. This meets the recommendations for air quality and circulation. Family and community engagement is always important to us. The return to in-person instruction requires new health and safety protocols, new schedules, and the need to over-communicate with parents. We ask that you please help to reinforce and explain safety protocols at home. We will continue to use a variety of communication platforms. The Remind app, email, telephone, District 280 website at www.mendotahs.org, some social media on Facebook and Twitter, and all classroom teachers will use Google Classroom. We learned from the family intake survey that the majority of you prefer text messages, so we will try to push out reminders quickly through text messages more frequently this year. Family assemblies can take place in a virtual format like the one we're doing now, or in small groups of 50. We will also be scheduling some live virtual assemblies. The important schedule change is one that's being made to an 8-block or alternate day or AB model. All of those words represent what we are going to do. MHS has a common educational vision that we want to promote instruction and learning within our current environment. Students are always our top priority, and your instruction and learning is always most important to us. That's why we're here. We need to meet the needs of our students, families, community, and staff given the current health guidelines. So a significant structural shift like this bell schedule change in our daily schedule can really help us meet the needs that we have. We are looking for an academic schedule in which students have fewer classes per day for longer periods of time. An AB alternating block is when classes meet all semester long every other day. A purple day or an A day is when students will attend 4 classes for 85 minutes. MHS will use periods 1, 3, 6, which will also be a lunch period, and 7 during a purple day. The alternate days are gold days, or a B day. Students will attend 3 different classes and a period 8 intervention for 85 minutes. Gold days will have periods 2, 4, 5 with a lunch, and 8. Semester 1, the 8 block is going to have staggered periods to accommodate for out-of-district combined classes such as Area Career Center and 8th grade math. We are going to try to match up with those other districts that our students attend classes with. There are many benefits to an 8-block schedule. It minimizes the number of passing periods per day. The less traffic in the hallways means less student exposure. It is the opportunity also to go outside during class and take both a brain break and a mask break during those 85-minute periods. Students who are outside are allowed per ISB to remove their mask if they can socially distance by 6 feet. We feel like it's important in this 85-minute period that students and teachers are going to be thinking of it in perhaps 3 blocks of time, 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Within those blocks, not only can they provide instruction and activities, but also some breaks to help everyone get through the day. Teachers and students are exposed to fewer students daily. So as an example, a teacher may see 125 students daily during a traditional 8-period day. In the block schedule, they may only see 60 students a day, and this would be the same exposure level for the students. Students only focus on 3 to 4 academic classes per day on a block schedule, and this can significantly reduce the stress of planning their day. This schedule would also carry over to remote learning if needed during the school year to reduce the remote learning stress of planning for 7 periods daily. In the spring, we were asking students what was giving you anxiety and stress about learning completely online, and part of that stress was trying to plan and prepare for 7 periods every day. This block schedule can really reduce that stress on our students. It will also provide our teachers with more daily professional development time without eliminating direct student instructional time. Teachers are encouraged to rely upon their collective expertise and to collaborate in lesson development from 2:35 to 3:20 daily. The sample purple and gold schedule will be given to all students in several formats, and we hope that you can ask any questions that you might have. There are, of course, some traditional challenges of a block schedule, but they offer coronavirus solutions. Block scheduling does not just mean changing the structure of the school day. It means redesigning the instruction in the class. So coronavirus safety demands that we quickly and efficiently shift into different methods of instruction, such as hybrid, blended, or complete remote learning formats. This requires us to redesign our instruction. So going to this 85-minute block structure, the planning is already in place while the students are here, so they can shift when needed. Block scheduling also allows teachers to incorporate technology and subsequent technology problems into that 85-minute period without losing content. We found that when we had 47-minute periods, if there was a software or technology issue, students oftentimes lost over half the class period. The 85-minute structure will allow teachers and students to troubleshoot more effectively. It will also help teachers to focus on the most important content and skill areas. The nurse will have an additional room, which is called an isolation room, to follow the ISB recommended protocol. A former classroom, room 301, is located immediately next to the nurse's office, and it has been converted into an isolation room. Room 301 has an exit door to the front parking lot. So any student who is ill or shows symptoms of COVID will be placed in this isolation room with supervision. This will allow students to exit out of the exterior door instead of signing out through the principal's office, and it will minimize their contact with others. Student arrival to MHS is always naturally staggered because people arrive at different times. The building opens at 7:30 and closes at 4 p.m. beginning this fall semester. Students again are going to enter either the front doors or gym foyer doors. Bus and student drop-offs are at the front doors. Junior and senior parking is in the back lot, and they should enter those gym doors only. Temperature checks and self-certification questions will be asked. Grab-and-go breakfast will be served in the cafeteria, and we will require that there's no loitering in the cafeteria. Students are going to be restricted from loitering around the building and must keep moving to the classes. Student departure from Mendota High School. On purple days, seniors will be dismissed at 2:25 to clear the building before regular dismissal time. That will have approximately 25% of our students dismissed before the rest of the student body, and this will create a staggered dismissal. On gold days, seniors and juniors with at least a 3.0 GPA will be dismissed at the beginning of period 8. This will increase this staggered dismissal to approximately 35% of our student body. We hope that this again will eliminate any hall congestion. We have to ask what happens if we are closed again and must go to remote learning. Teachers are going to set up Google Classrooms and a variety of technology tools at the beginning of the semesters. Students should be prepared to go remote if and when needed because they'll already be using this technology in their classes at the beginning of school in August. We also have purchased additional portable Wi-Fi hotspots that will be provided to students in need. Mendota High School has made a commitment that every student will have a one-to-one device with a Google Chromebook, and the district has also made a commitment that every student will have access to Wi-Fi when needed. We thank you so much for your cooperation and for helping us through this difficult time. We encourage you to contact Mendota High School with any questions or concerns. I am available at doggenbaugh@mendotahs.org or 815-539-7446. Thank you so much. Stay safe. We will be sending home additional information, and we look forward to all of our students returning on August 14th.